The night was cold, and the river carried a strange silence, broken only by the creak of a broken engine boat stranded on the shore. That's where our story begins, where fate tied two unlikely people together. So, stay with me till the end, because what this poor single dad discovers will leave you in tears, and maybe, just maybe, give you a reason to believe in miracles again. And before we dive deep, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because stories like this one deserve to be heard. Ryan was a single father, living in a small riverside town where life was hard but simple. He fixed boats for a living, patched up fishing nets, and worked endlessly just to feed his little daughter, Noor. She was 7 years old, with curious eyes that always sparkled even when their house was too cold in winter or their dinner was nothing more than bread and lentils. For Ryan, Noor was his entire world. The reason he woke up every morning, the reason he pushed through pain, the reason he smiled even when life gave him no reason to. But Ryan carried a wound that never healed. His elder brother, Samir, had died mysteriously 3 years ago. The story told by officials was that Samir drowned in the river during a storm while working on an engine prototype he had been building for a wealthy investor. But deep inside, Ryan never believed it. Samir was too careful, too passionate about his invention to just let it all go like that. The guilt of not being able to save him haunted Ryan every night. One evening, as Ryan was returning home with Noor, a sleek boat drifted awkwardly toward the shore. It was not a fisherman's boat, it looked expensive, with polished wood and an unusual design that stood out against the rustic surroundings. A woman in a sharp white coat stood on deck, clearly frustrated, shouting orders at her men who were clueless about the broken engine. "You there?" she called when she noticed Ryan. "Can you fix this? None of my people can figure it out." Ryan hesitated. He recognized her immediately, Isla Malik, the billionaire businesswoman whose empire stretched from shipping to real estate. People said she was ruthless, cold-hearted, and cared about nothing but money. He had no reason to trust her, but he needed the work. Noor tugged at his hand, whispering, "Baba, maybe she'll pay us enough for my new schoolbooks." So he agreed. As Ryan climbed aboard, he examined the engine. It was unlike anything he had seen before, filled with strange modifications, wires, and parts that didn't belong to a normal boat. His hands shook as he touched it, because some of the designs carved into the metal were familiar. Too familiar. They were Samir's markings, the kind he always etched into his inventions, a secret signature only Ryan would recognize. His heart pounded. Where did this boat come from?" he asked carefully. Isla raised an eyebrow. "That's none of your concern. Just fix it. And you'll be well paid." But for Ryan, this was no longer just a job. It was a piece of his brother's past, maybe even the truth behind his death. As days passed, Isla kept calling him back to work on the boat. Each time, Ryan uncovered more of Samir's work hidden in its machinery, a blueprint folded under the seat, a small engraved locket Samir used to wear stuck in the engine's corner. Every discovery burned with both pain and hope. Noor noticed her father growing restless, whispering prayers at night, staring at the stars, wondering if Samir had left behind a message for him. Finally, one evening when Ryan dared to question Isla again, her cold mask cracked. She confessed. 3 years ago, she had secretly funded Samir's research. He was designing an engine that could run without fuel, a breakthrough that could change the world. But when the prototype was nearly complete, someone betrayed him. Rivals attacked, and Samir never returned. Isla admitted she had hidden the boat ever since, afraid the truth would leak and powerful enemies would destroy everything. Tears filled Ryan's eyes. His brother hadn't just drowned. He had been silenced. But instead of anger, Ryan made a choice. He would finish what Samir started. For days and nights, he worked tirelessly on the boat, Noor bringing him water and food as he labored. Isla watched silently, realizing this man was not just a mechanic, he was a brother carrying love strong enough to outlast death. When the engine finally roared to life, it wasn't just a boat anymore, it was Samir's dream, reborn. The machine purred with a strange hum, glowing faintly as if life itself ran through its veins. Ryan stepped back, trembling, whispering, "You did it, brother. You really did it." Isla, touched in a way she never thought possible, offered Ryan wealth, power, anything he wanted. But Ryan shook his head. "I don't want money. I just want my daughter to grow up knowing her uncle's dream lived on. Promise me you'll use this invention for good. Not greed. Not power." For the first time, Isla's eyes softened. She promised. And so, the poor single dad who had nothing ended up reviving his brother's legacy, not with riches, but with courage and love. Noor hugged him tightly, saying, "Baba, Uncle Samir is smiling from the sky." And maybe he was. If this story touched your heart, remember, it's not always wealth or power that changes the world. Sometimes, it's the quiet strength of family, love, and never giving up on those we've lost. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because stories like Ryan's remind us that even in the darkest nights, hope is never truly gone.